She's always got that creepy doll with her. That's how many people first described the Sacred Riana, the Indonesian magician and illusionist who terrified and fascinated the world when she appeared on America's Got Talent Season 13 in 2018. From the moment she stepped onto the stage, silent, pale, and haunting, clutching her eerie doll, it was clear she wasn't there to entertain in the usual way. She was there to unsettle. With her dark presence, minimal speech, and horror movie energy, the Sacred Riana became one of the most polarizing acts in the history of the show. Some viewers were amazed by her originality and creativity. Others were disturbed by her reliance on fear and shock. But no one could ignore her. Born as Marie Antoinette Riana Grahani, the Sacred Riana grew up in Indonesia and attended St. Ursula Catholic School before continuing her studies at Bunda Mulia University. From a young age, she showed interest in magic and illusion, inspired largely by her father, who was also a magician. He introduced her to the craft and encouraged her to train seriously. Through years of practice and discipline, she mastered not only technical tricks, but also performance, the art of turning illusion into storytelling. She eventually chose the stage name, the Sacred Riana, because she believed magic should feel secret, forbidden, and sacred. That belief became the foundation of her identity as a performer. Riana didn't want to be just another magician. She wanted to be something people had never seen before. Drawing inspiration from horror films and Asian folklore, she created an eerie persona that felt more like a ghost than a human. On stage, her movements are slow and unnatural. Her face remains almost emotionless. Her long black hair often hides part of her face. She wears a simple long-sleeved dress, white tights, and carries a doll dressed exactly like her. She rarely speaks, and when she does, her voice trembles, barely audible, as if it's coming from somewhere else. Her character is inspired partly by Sadako Yamamura from the Ring film series, a cursed spirit who crawls out of televisions and haunts the living. Riana adopted that unsettling energy and transformed it into something uniquely hers. She wasn't trying to make people laugh or clap, she wanted to make them uncomfortable. And she succeeded. Before America's Got Talent, Riana had already built a strong reputation in Asia. In 2017, she appeared on Asia's Got Talent and won the entire competition, defeating powerful dance groups and illusionists. That victory made her a star in her home region. Later that same year, she placed second on the Indonesian reality show The Next Mentalist. She even went on to become a judge on The Great Magician Show. By the time she arrived in America, she wasn't a beginner, she was already a champion. Still, nothing could have prepared audiences for what they were about to see. On her AGT audition, Riana walked onto the stage silently, holding her doll. She didn't greet the judges. She didn't smile. Instead, she slowly took a photo of Mel B with a camera and placed it on the table. Then she laid out images and names related to a supposed murder case and asked Mel B to choose one. Mel B picked the name, Bob. Instantly, Riana revealed an old newspaper, which had been blank seconds earlier, now showing Bob as the suspect, with the victim's photo inside it. Even more chilling, the image of the victim appeared inside the photo Riana had taken of Mel B. The audience gasped. Mel B looked visibly shaken. The judges didn't know whether to applaud or protect themselves. Then came the Judge Cut's performance. This time, Riana pretended to play with an imaginary friend. What followed was a disturbing, hyper-realistic illusion that blurred the line between performance and horror. Her expressions, her silence, and the way she manipulated space made it feel like something supernatural was happening right in front of everyone. The judges were so unsettled that they hesitated before even responding, but ultimately, she was sent straight to the quarterfinals. In the quarterfinals, Riana took her darkness to another level. She gave Mel B a doll that looked exactly like her. Then, during the act, multiple Rianas appeared in the audience and swarmed the stage. The real Riana seemed to vanish and reappear elsewhere. Screams filled the room. The tension was unbearable. Suddenly, the show cut to commercial. Viewers at home were confused. The act felt unfinished. When the show returned, it went straight to the judges' comments, skipping the ending entirely. Fans were left wondering, was this a mistake? A technical issue? Or something more? Later, it was revealed that the cut was completely intentional. According to members of the production team, the interruption had been planned from the beginning to create suspense and conversation. And it worked. That performance became the most viewed act of the night on YouTube, gaining over 1 million views almost instantly. Sympathy poured in from fans who felt Rihanna had been treated unfairly. Despite the buzz, she did not advance to the semifinals. Some believed her act was simply too dark for mainstream American television. Others felt there was a cultural disconnect. In Asian magic, storytelling and atmosphere matter more than flashy tricks. In America, audiences often want big visuals, fast pacing, and jump scares. Rihanna's horror was slow, psychological, and eerie, not explosive. Still, her impact was undeniable. After leaving America's Got Talent, Rihanna didn't disappear. She went on to compete in Britain's Got Talent, the champions in 2019, but was eliminated early. Rather than keep chasing talent shows, she shifted her focus to acting and original content. She starred in her own horror film titled The Sacred Riana, becoming the first AGT contestant to headline her own movie. The film gained millions of views and expanded her character into a full cinematic universe. In 2020, she appeared in Disney's Stargirl, played in Masters of Illusion, and later returned in 2022 with a sequel, The Sacred Riana 2, Bloody Mary. Off stage, however, she is completely different. Off the stage, The Sacred Riana is nothing like the ghostly figure audiences see under the lights. Without the long black hair covering her face, without the white tights and unsettling doll, she looks like an ordinary young woman. Photos on her social media show her smiling with family members, traveling, eating snacks, and living a normal life. The contrast between her real personality and her stage persona is almost shocking. It's hard to believe that the woman who terrifies millions on television is, in real life, warm, relaxed, and grounded. This separation between identity and performance is something Rihanna takes very seriously. For her, The Sacred Riana is not just a character, it is a fully formed entity with its own psychology, history, and rules. When she is in costume, she doesn't break character. She doesn't smile. She doesn't wave. She doesn't chat with the judges. That discipline is part of what makes her performances feel so real. Viewers aren't just watching tricks, they're watching a story unfold, and Rihanna becomes a living part of that story. Despite her terrifying image, Rihanna has always been deeply thoughtful about her craft. She has said in interviews that she doesn't aim to shock people just for the sake of it. Her goal is to explore fear as an emotion, the same way a filmmaker or novelist does. In her view, fear is powerful because it makes people feel something intensely. When audiences scream or sit in silence, it means they are emotionally engaged. That, to her, is success. After her run on America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent, Rihanna stepped away from reality competition shows and began building her own creative universe. One of her biggest projects was expanding her story through film. In The Sacred Riana, she explored the origin of her character, where the doll came from, what kind of curse follows her, and how she became what she is. The film didn't just rely on jump scares. It leaned heavily into atmosphere, tension, and psychological horror, which aligned perfectly with her style of magic. The success of that film led to a sequel, The Sacred Riana 2, Bloody Mary, released in 2022. In it, Rihanna deepened the mythology of her character and pushed the boundaries of what a magician-turned-actress could do. She proved she wasn't limited to the stage. She could also hold an audience's attention in a full-length movie. At the same time, Rihanna continued performing live. Even though she wasn't competing on television anymore, she still toured, appeared at events, and staged her signature illusion acts with her doll and spooky assistants. Fans who saw her live often said the experience was even more intense in person than on screen. Without the safety of a television frame, the silence, eye contact, and tension felt much closer, almost personal. She also explored other creative outlets. Riana launched a podcast on Spotify titled Kisa Horror, where she shares backstories, fictional horror tales, and mysterious narratives connected to her universe. The podcast gave fans a chance to experience her storytelling in audio form, without visuals, which made the fear even more imaginative. Surprisingly, she also stepped into business. Riana collaborated with a gourmet popcorn brand called Overdose to create a custom flavor called X-Variant Mix. The idea was simple but clever: give fans something to snack on while watching her performances or films. It was another way to connect her brand with everyday life, mixing the ordinary with the eerie. Despite all this success, Riana has remained humble about her journey. She often credits her father for introducing her to magic and teaching her discipline. She also acknowledges the cultural challenges she faced when bringing an Asian-style horror act to Western audiences. In Indonesia and other parts of Asia, ghost stories, curses, and spirits are common in entertainment. In the West, fear is often louder, faster, and more visual. That difference explains why some American viewers didn't fully connect with her style, not because it wasn't good, but because it was different. Some fans even refused to vote for her on AGT because they felt her act wasn't scary enough, in the American sense. Others felt it was too scary. That split reaction made her one of the most talked about contestants of the season. She wasn't just another singer or dancer, she was a conversation starter. Even her elimination became part of her legend. When her quarter-final performance was cut off with a commercial break, fans flooded social media with questions and theories. Many believed something had gone wrong. Others thought the judges had stopped the act. In reality, the interruption was planned by the production team to increase suspense. Whether intentional art or television strategy, the result was the same: everyone was talking about the Sacred Riana. Today, Riana stands as one of the most unique figures ever to come out of a talent show. She didn't win America's Got Talent. She didn't become a pop star or mainstream celebrity. Instead, she carved out her own dark corner of the entertainment world, one where illusion, horror, and storytelling merge. What makes her story inspiring isn't just her success, but her commitment to authenticity. She didn't change her style to fit the market. She didn't soften her character to please everyone. She stayed true to her vision, even when it confused or frightened people. And in doing so, she built a global fanbase that respects her originality. In a world where many performers chase trends, the Sacred Riana created her own. She proved that magic doesn't have to be bright and cheerful to be powerful. It can be slow. It can be quiet. It can be unsettling. And it can still hold millions of people in complete silence. Whether she returns to television in a big way or continues expanding her universe through film, stage, and audio storytelling, one thing is certain. The Sacred Riana is far from finished. Her name has become synonymous with mystery, fear, and creativity. And somewhere, in the shadows, she's already preparing her next illusion.